start with Refuge and Bodhicitta on page 7 of the Kurukulla Center prayer book. And we'll do a regular Sunday morning prayers through to page 37. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest, to aid all may I become Buddha. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest, to aid all may I become Buddha. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest, to aid all may I become Buddha. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings never be parted from sorrowless bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from bias, attachment, and hatred. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme among humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who were wise then I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With supreme signs, face like spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you the 3 worlds are not, incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the one gone to dustness I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dharma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated and who also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you the sublime community intending virtue I prostrate. Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to the great Sangha, to all 3 ever devout homage, to all worthy of respect, bowing with bodies as many as all realms atoms in all aspects, with supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions, subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a mirage, the flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. From Tushita's hundreds of God's protector's heart, to taste of this fresh, pure, white heap, curved like cloud, O Losang Drakpa, Dharma's omniscient King, pray come to this place with your disciples. In space ahead, on lion throne, lotus and moon, venerable gurus smile brightly with delight. Pray stay hundreds of eons to spread doctrine as supreme merit, field for my mind of faith. Your wisdom mind sees full range of knowables. Your eloquent speech adorns fortunate ears. Your beauteous body, fame, glory outstanding. Homage to you, worthwhile to think of, hear and see. Pleasant offerings of water, various flowers, fragrant incense, light perfume, and so on. Oceans of offerings set out and envisioned, offered up to you, supreme field of merit. Non-virtue committed with body, speech, and mind, which I have heaped up since beginningless time, especially what has contradicted three vows. Each I confess from my heart with strong regret. In time of strife you strove to learn and practice, shunned eight mundane concerns, made life essence full. O protector, from depths of our hearts, we rejoice in your powerful great deeds. Venerable gurus, from love and wisdom, clouds densely massed in your Dharmakaya sky, pray loose a rain of vast, profound Dharma on fields of disciples just as needed. May whatever virtue that I've here gathered bring benefit to all beings and doctrine, and may it make Venerable Losang Drakpa's essential teaching specially shine forever. Big made stay waiter chen chen raising. Dream make yen pei wang po jam pel yang. Du pung ma lu jom ze sang wei da. Gang chen ke pe tsu gian Tsongkhapa. Losang Drakpa jab la so adep. O glorious and precious root guru, pray take seat of lotus on my crown, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments of body, speech, and mind. O glorious and precious root guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments common and supreme. O glorious and precious root guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness, until supreme awakening remains steadfast. Homage to the exalted three jewels. Thus have I heard at one time. The Blessed One was dwelling in Rajagriha on Vulture Mountain, together with a great assembly of monks and a great assembly of bodhisattvas. At that time the Blessed One was absorbed in the concentration of the countless aspects of phenomena called profound illumination. At that very time the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the Great Being, was looking perfectly at the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, perfectly looking at the emptiness of inherent existence of the five aggregates also. Then through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the Great Being, how should a child of the lineage train who wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom? Thus he spoke, and the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the Great Being, replied to the Venerable Shariputra as follows. Shariputra, whichever son or daughter of the lineage wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom should look perfectly like this. Subsequently looking perfectly and correctly at the emptiness of inherent existence of the five aggregates also. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form, form is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors in consciousness are empty. Shariputra, like this, all phenomena are empty without characteristics. That is, they are not produced and do not cease. They have no defilement and no separation from defilement. They have no decrease and no increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness. There is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind. No visible form, no sound, no smell, no touch, no object of touch, no mental phenomenon. There is no I element and so forth up to no mind element, up to no element of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance and no cessation of ignorance and so forth up to no aging and death and no cessation of aging and death. Likewise, there is no suffering, no origin, no cessation and no path. No exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and abide in the perfection of wisdom, and because their minds have no obstructions, they have no fear. Passing utterly beyond error, they attain the final state beyond sorrow. All the Buddhas who reside in the three times by relying on the perfection of wisdom become manifest and complete Buddhas in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the equal to the unequaled mantra, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering since it is not false should be known as the truth. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed. Tayata, gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisoha. Shariputra, this is how a bodhisattva, a great being, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom. The Blessed One arose from that concentration and said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the Great Being, well said, O child of the lineage, so it is. The profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced exactly as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Shariputra, the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the Great Being, and the entire assembly as well as worldly beings, gods, humans, demigods, Gandharvas, and others, were filled with admiration and highly praised what had been spoken by the Blessed One. In the holy supreme abode of the Dakinis, possessed of clairvoyance and miraculous power, unwaveringly caring for practitioners as their children, homage to the hosts of the three places Dakinis, Akasamartas Hadavasamriya Fedas. Tayata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisoha. Through the power of truth of the exalted three jewels speech, may all on the side of negativity, such as the four Maras, be stopped. May they become non-existent. May they be pacified. All enemies, obstructors, and hindrances, Shanti through Ruye Soha. The 80,000 types of obstructors pacified, freed from adverse harmful conditions. May all be conducive and perfect auspiciousness. Bring happiness and well-being here, right now. Ground perfume anointed flowers strewn Meru for lands, sun and moon. Idam Guru Atmamadavadam Niryatayami. Chogan Soki Chognam La Jam Chupadu Dagni Kapsuchi Dagni Chunyin Ki Pesonam Ki Drola Penchir Sangye Drupa Shu Chogan Soki Chognam La Jam Chupadu Dagni Kapsuchi Dagni Chunyin Ki Pesonam Ki Drola Penchir Sangye Drupa Shu Chodan Soki Chodram La Jamshu Badu Dagni Kyapsuchi Dagi Chunyin Ki Pesonam Ki Drola Penchir Sangye Drupa Sho.
Okay. Good morning, everybody.
Morning, Geshe.
How are you?
Well, Geshe.
How well? It's samsara, not much well. If you well morning, then evening something happen. If evening okay, then tomorrow morning not very. It's a samsara. Right?
Yeah.
The Kadamba masters say, samsara is chop the needle. Needle? Needle. If you stay in needle, not comfortable, right? You know, this is samsara is not very comfortable place. But we have very desire to samsara. Everybody. Anyway, very good to see you again. Hey. We are very fortunate to study a little bit how you, even usually where Buddhism talk about future lives, but even though you can just talk about how you keep your life to comfortable, peaceful life, just this life. We already, most people age, 30s, 40s, we already have halfway to go to some different area. Then we have how much left over the life is comfortable, peaceful, no stressed love. Therefore we study a little bit Dharma, then think about a little bit. The holiness oftentimes is very important to study. We say meditation. Meditation means we need to some object. We think about the object. We familiarize our mind of the object. First we need to meditation. Before meditation, we need to know what can be meditation. How we meditate. Therefore, study is very important. There's always holiness there. Very important to study. Also, Lama Tsongkhapa said, first you have to hear many times, many ways. Karo tambo Geshe a month, off from there. Tambo Geshe a month, Pada Dambash. 그냥 땜바치 비치는 모습. 어때는 다 당부 아니 몸보네 도와 몸보도와 아니 지금 버치 송이랬어 봐. 아니 바다 아니 바당. 당부 제시도 맞다. 바다 절로도 담바치. 아니 당부 투바 셴에다 강송 잡아 강시에 받아 소다 당과 냠슬한 거 그래서. 그 당부 제시도 맞다. 바다 절로도 담바치. 담바치. 아니 되네. 다 년도 세트주 가디는 냠슬한 거 그래서 대라we 개베 싸워라 때니 아니 템바제 와는 로베는 거 같이 거 그래서 안으로.
So, just like Lama Tsongkhapa said, and first it is very important to make effort to study as extensively as possible, and then in the middle you should see all the studies that you have done as an instruction for yourself, and then at the end you put that instruction into practice throughout day and night, and then whatever merit that you have created through doing all these studies and meditations and practices, then you dedicate that for the teachings of the Buddha to increase and for all sentient beings to achieve enlightenment quickly.
Right. Therefore, usually Buddha Shakyamuni he teach or he taught 108 volumes. Sometimes it's 100 volumes. It will be called Kanjur. Then the India masters, right now the holiness called the Pendu Chubden, 17 Pentatars. Their commentary for the Kanjur, 220 volumes over there. Now we are not available to study all the Kanjurs there. Even, they're not translated English. If they translate English, they also very hard to understand. Then the commentary, all the composed India masters, no Buddha Shakyamuni. Then 220 volumes, 20-something volumes. Also very difficult to study all them. But the many masters, they can compose all combined, all the Kanjur dangers mixed together. A little bit short verses, short texts, a little bit easy to understand. Then for benefit for us. Example one is the Lama Atisha. He comes to Tibet. He teach for the Tibetans to Atisha's lamp. Then it's very easy. It's a little bit easy to understand. Also short. Then for that, there are a lot of commentaries. Lama Tsongkhapa, the commentary lam-rim chemo, right now 3 volumes. Everybody may be familiarized, right? Lam-rim chemo, 3 volumes. Then others, many commentaries. Then one also, there's Pabongka. He composed this the Namdo Lacho. English called how is that?
Liberation in the palm of your
Liberation
hand.
palm of the hand. It's very easy. This is not use very dharma words, very regular words. Then more easy to understand for us. Other very high dharma words, difficult to understand. But this is just also related for our life, every daily practice. Then we are very fortunate to practice, study this. Usually, Buddha's teaching, 2,500 years ago, right? But still, we have available to practice, study. Buddha's teaching not stay. However, one day they degenerate. How you say? Degenerate. But still, we meet. We doesn't meet Buddha. We meet Buddha's, representatives, our teachers. Then we are fortunate. We have studied this. If I think we most really understand, Buddha's teaching that what men Buddha taught us, what main thing for it was for us. I think everybody most understand. The problem is we don't practice. Therefore, we doesn't practice. Therefore, we still not suffering the samsara. Then this lam-rim is very easy, also to how you say,
Step by step.
Step by step. Instructions. What are you first you're thinking? First you have to study. Then second, then third, then fourth. Easy, little easy, then a little difficult. Then finally, then a little bit more difficult. But the main thing is study again and again, not just read once. But usually you guys very easy, you guys read maybe once, twice, you guys very good understand, right? It's for me, I have to read twice, couple times, 4 or 5 times, still I don't understand. Oh, good. But I think you guys very good, maybe you have very good basic knowledge. Therefore, even you guys read maybe once, twice, you guys very good understand. But maybe easy to forget, right? But this is also not same as the, history books, not same as, just some regular books. You have to read again and again, then think about more, the meaning of what they say, what the meaning. Buddha say, don't just accept me, what I say. You have to investigation, is read true or not. Therefore, now we have to do that. Not just pray, say, oh, give the blessing for me, please, Buddha. It's not, it's good that, not very transfer our mind. Usually practice means what Buddha taught, what Buddha said. Our mind and Buddha's, it was very far, gap, far away. Can we say this? Then there's not very good practice. You need to, combine together our mind and Buddha's teach. That's correct? I don't know what I say in English, correct or not. Maybe I want to say something that maybe I say wrong directions. Then maybe you guys also wrong understand. Therefore, anyway, what Buddha said, what Buddha is teaching, very important we have to think about this. It makes sense or not. If it makes sense, then we do that, right? If not makes sense, so yeah, Buddha said that. It's also okay. Just give up that. Then everybody who has feeling same as us to wish to happy, unwanted any sufferings. Now that Buddha's teaching say how you, I don't know, ta dunga the kanji yunguyo, dewa the kanji dubko yo. Dunga the kanji na yunguyo, dewa the kanji dubko yo. Kando. Sanji tikola shegi yorasro.
So Buddha explains, how do we achieve the happiness that we want, and how do we get rid of the sufferings we don't want.
Right? Therefore, not everybody is same. When we learn things, whatever we interested, then we very focus there, right? When you guys study, if you are the very interested subject, then you very focus there, right? You study there. Not same as that. Buddha say, how you get out free from the sufferings, how you achieve the happiness. He teach for us. Then if we lack to happiness, then try to now get more practice, more effort. Even try to one day. Buddha said, don't angry, Try to one day don't angry. Can you guys do it? One day? A single day? Really? Really? I think it's one day may be possible. Also, I mention you guys, very important to morning before you go to walk, try to a little bit, motivation. Say, today I try to not be angry, and not be jealous. I think we are most time angry and jealous, then hatred come, right? After that. Just every day, slowly, Right now, for us, everybody, we are not useful, we are not harbor that. We cannot change our mind very easily, but try to a little bit, step by step. What Buddha's teaching say, try to they say, okay, anger is bad, that harms your body and mind both. Then you can check, when I get angry, I feel tired, I feel unhappy. Yes, right, this is we can just investigation. We can understand really well, right? Then try to not angry. Just maybe one day. Maybe you can come back one day 3 times. Maybe 1, 2 times you can get angry. Maybe one part. Every day, slowly. Not, this we have to transfer our mind. We say, oh Buddha, please bless me, I'm not angry, then it doesn't work. Buddha said, I cannot take your suffering for my hand. Is correct? I cannot wash your suffering. Then how can I teach you? How can I help you? I teach you reality, phenomena of nature. No. Nature of the phenomena. Nature of the samsara, maybe, Then if you practice that, this is the way I help you, I teach you. This Buddha say, he doesn't say, okay, you can pray for me 24 hours, then I can take your suffering. He doesn't say. Even you stay maybe a couple hours, he say, I'm not angry, please give me. then you maybe knees be so, then you get tired, right? Just try to, upset. Usually, the Shantideva said, if it is fixable, not need to, upset. Is correct?
That's correct.
Right? If it is not fixable, no need to upset. It doesn't matter. It doesn't work. You upset, but we don't think that, right? We have to hard to our mind put together. But the slowly. Anyway, this is meant for the Buddha's teaching or Buddha's advice. I think you guys already know, very senior students here. Then maybe better than me, you guys. I'm just here the representative to the name. Say Geshe. He said Geshe, he teach then. Maybe you guys are better than me, Okay, then switch off my Tibetan language. Then the Tanganzo ta lam-rim tande ta lobjong chege tande lomomong go rest.
So we've been studying now this liberation in the palm of your hand for many years, right?
Okay, don't be bored. Okay, too many years. But this is one book that insights are not same thing they talk about all the time. They're all different subjects. Okay, one book that you say, oh, I know this book. They always different talk. Then the tani kadina suzu ngone. Deb shemba mambo ke mewa na ta nende dem ro chi na suzu choshim kala sha. Ani dela sha ansa chowa piwa ina. Ani ta sunu go tsokpa de ba sa gres.
So, like I mentioned, this is the text that it combines, all the essence, of the all these great teachings that Buddha gave. And so, even if you can't have all of other books, if you can just have a book like this, Liberation in the Palm of Your Hand, and study on that, and of course, and then place it on the altar, make offerings, make prostrations, and just by doing that, you will accumulate a lot of merits.
And then nala left is samalaya. Debti book as nala mukamar looks again. That perich kuma did not look. Nala leva the hamgo shasa kandela shama shasrua.
And so, try to respect, the book, by not, leaving it on the floor, on the shoe rack, especially like when you get home, so soon after you get into the home, then when you take off your shoes and then you place the book on the shoe rack. Don't do that.
Right, taught to the you're some altar or you're some high place, then leave there. Then you can do, even you don't have any other things that you can just put there. Do prostration, do study, Yeah. Main things. So this book is very important, When you are maybe in New York, you really saw in Holiness the Lama, he gave the transmission for 8,000 sutra, Jetumba.
8,000 verses of Professional Wisdom Sutra.
Yeah, he going to give the transmission. He taught that sentence. For the sentence, they put in a book, under the table. Then he said, Polokias put his throne, then put the Vayam above there. Then he do 3 prostration for the Vayam. So, there's a Tanagachi Mushara. He
said all the things that he wouldn't be able to say in English, and then what he would be able to say in English, he said in English.
Right, therefore, you have to put, high place, respect, to not sense your other books. You do prostration, offering their books, is very important. When people, I saw that many people, before go to bed, they read some books, and when they fall asleep, they just put it there, floor, not like that, This is very special for object for our merit. Then the third them diganalaya tambonganzo. Tamambo lapsare kanji ngolema tambo ta shinye tensa so watching songere.
And so this text combines all the teachings, and starting with the Guru devotion from the beginning, at the beginning. Sorry.
Then the nganzo ta nambe shinye tensa said ta nanga chimbo shirar sangdo lapko.
So it is the Guru devotion is very important, one of the most important practices.
And Karre Jindro ta Dodon Lava Yena, and Shinyan Test Sosu ta Gege, Shinyan, the Shinyan do Taba and Rumankaji, Shinyan Tedan Demba, the Rigo, Reserva, can't take Shinyan.
So the Guru devotion, which means to rely on a Guru. So you have to rely on a Guru. You have to find somebody who can teach you, right? So, and then once you have found, and then you should follow. So, so that excuse me, sorry. So finding and then relying on that person is very important. And of course, you cannot just rely on just anybody who teaches Dharma, or claim to teach Dharma, but somebody who really has all those qualities of the teacher. And so for a teacher to a qualified or authentic teacher, it doesn't have to be an ordained person. It doesn't have to be male. It can be male or female, can be ordained or lay person, as long as that person has the knowledge, to guide you, through the practices. Then that person can be regarded as your teacher.
봐. 텐디기 강사 대직다 나 가오체가 노래 가오라고서 가시 나 갱이라고 문서 랍되는 대 소수 간제 대화고 소수가 내가란 적은 누구 삼수 예와이나 다대 따져지는 적이 오래서.
And so once you have found somebody that you can rely on, for all these teachings, then you can tag that person as your teacher. So some people, they ask questions saying, "How do I, find a teacher?" So you just look around, just listen to the teachings, the teachers who are teaching, and then see, if they, if you kind of connect or click with them, and then just by listening to them and studying from them, then you can rely on that person as your teacher. So you have to take someone as your teacher. Nobody will come to say, "I'm your teacher." If somebody do that, then maybe that is not a good teacher.
아니 간제 다 시당 개개개 예대 몸보다 다 되는도 알아다 전인데 이제 개체와 진도 소소다 그니잖아 그 연대 증이고 그래서.
And so, of course, there are so many qualities that is required, for the teacher to be a valid, authentic teacher. But at the very least, it has to be someone who is very kind in general, who thinks about others more than himself or herself. And of course, at the very least, the person has to have more knowledge than you. In terms of the Dharma, the person should have more knowledge than you.
어제 다 텐디지 땜바이나 안에 텐디 안에 경에 대다 소소고 안에 삼바는 조반이나 야보된 거 그래서.
And so once you have found that kind of teacher, then you have to devote, to that person. And so there's two ways of devoting, devoting through thought and devoting through action.
간제 텐디게 개gel라 소소 대화 여보 예와나 소소 대화 여보 예사 개경이 칼 소소 냥으로 와서.
And so of course there's a lot deeper meaning for devoting to the guru. So what do you mean by devoting the guru? And so here it is trusting in him or her and having faith, and just as you'll have as much faith as the Buddha. So that kind of faith you have to have. So once you have that kind of faith, then whatever the teacher tells you, you will do that, right? Because of your strong faith in him or her.
라메게 신럽 체다 추세대 아니 라마라 라레 말에 소소 대자 소소라 라레 레스트니 요레스.
And so how much more faith and devotion you have towards the guru, that much blessings you will receive. And so that's why it said whether there is a great blessing or not doesn't depend on the guru. It depends on the disciple. So it depends on how much strong faith and devotion that disciple have towards the guru.
다때 가라서 지금 삼로 있다는 간도 삼로 있다는데 간에나 간도 삼로 있다고도 왔어.
So we should think about that point.
와 배차샤와이나 가라서 이치 요사가 미지 개차 일하는 간도 관계 다티 개차다 드마진데 라나다 그러 왔어.
So to think about that point, that it's very important to have faith, in the guru. So just like if it is somebody that who we trust in, who we believe in, says something, then we'll listen to that person, right? We'll not just listen to anybody, somebody that we don't believe in. We'll not listen to that person, right?
어때다 텐디가 예치 요사 미디 라와티 수수고 때 냠내지네 때 라레다네 간지다 수수레가 지는 로그로 왕하면서.
So if we have belief in that person, and then whatever the person says, we will listen to that and then put into practice.
배다 대다 지바 수수 예치 요사가 개개 강 라와나 아니 수수 때 라레다 그러.
So just like that, if we have a faith and believe in that teacher, then whatever the teacher teaches, whatever dharma the teacher teach, we'll listen to him or her and follow his or her advices, right?
다 되게 팬서라 도래 팬 소소라 도뭐 개개는 주 녀다 많이겠다 시당지 미세 이제 왔던 거 말아 왔어.
So who benefits from that is oneself, right? And if you follow the teacher's advice, that will not benefit the teacher. It will benefit yourself.
다 배차하시면 대행군의 전에 상징인 도와 벤치 길라와이나 땅도 쉬우 녀거 왔다 대행군의 산에다 상지 란데 펴서네 지금 딱 가르치고 가면 제가 봤어.
So, for example, if actual Buddha came in this world today, and teach us something, then we'll all listen to him, right? Because we have faith in Buddha.
그리고 제가 가르치고 가서 제가 대다 제가 로야 답시다. 대 손주니야 답시 강소마다 란레다야 답시다. 가서 얘 맨날 제가 와.
So we'll try our best, to go to see him or go to and listen to his teachings and then put into practice as much as possible, right?
그리고 간주 사진 봐 신경을 고 사진 봐 신경을 고 간주 눈을 배겨래. 땅도 답시 얘 맨날 마도 제가 와 돼.
So we know he's the Buddha, we have faith in the Buddha, and so whatever he teaches, we'll do our best, to practice, right?
근데 이마 딱 라면 제가 가래 이제 간지 득바 마지 개와드스 다 라면 또 데려와서.
So what Buddha teaches, even if it's actual Buddha who came here and taught, what he teaches will be same thing as what is taught by these teachers, right? And basically, it will be saying like, the suffering comes from the negative actions. Don't create negative actions. And if you don't want any suffering, then don't create negative actions. Happiness comes from virtuous actions. If you want to have happiness, create virtuous actions. So that's what he's going to teach also.
그리고 근데 이마다 다 빼차샤와이나 산제당 다 산제 많이 다 이미가 간지 알아서 남지 투대 그 라마트니 주념도 성원한 가도 산제사이 등록을 와서 간가.
And so, of course, now as an ordinary person, we will just naturally will prefer Buddha, to our guru, right? And so, if there's a Buddha who is teaching, then we'll leave the guru and then go to Buddha, right?
근데 다 가르친다 산제 원자 산제기 누는 알아서 산제하고 온다 주노와들 가서 믹스기 라네 따기 그래. 셴바티다 개개에서 모두 같이 대인 바이나야. 강소와데 다 대레레 삼다 라네샤 따기요 말와서.
And so that's because because we have faith, more faith, we have more devotion, towards the Buddha, and then Guru. So we don't have enough, faith or devotion towards our Guru, and that's why we, prefer the Buddha and listen to him. So if we see the Guru as a Buddha, exactly same as the Buddha, then there will be no difference, right? We will not maybe prefer this or that.
근데 이마다 안에 수수 개개라 아니 산징이 뜻이었나 산징이가 처럼 주그래서 담아바진 뜻이었나 담아밴 뜻이 따예 가는 담아바지게 연대서 그놈 따예데 대섬 주그래서 다들 로존도 람부도 나요래서.
And so therefore it is important to devote ourselves to the Guru and have faith in him or her as much as we'll have in the Buddha. And that is for our benefit also. So if we see the Guru as a Buddha, and then devote to him, make prostration and faith, and have faith and all these things, then that much blessings we receive. We receive the blessing of the Buddha. But if we see the Guru as just as an ordinary person, he's just like myself. He just has a little bit of knowledge more than me, but he's like me. If we think like that, like an ordinary person, then the blessing you receive will be just that of an ordinary person. So how much blessing you receive depends on how you see the Guru.
근데 이바인자 다 지름 보지 얘한테 끈지 진짜 전신제 서졌단 말 남지 다 송말해줘.
And so that's why Tsongkhapa said the Guru, is the root of all the paths. Devoting, to him in a proper way is the is the root of all the root of all the knowledges. So you gain all the knowledges realization from devoting to the Guru properly.
그래. 배나 잠블링 같이 얘한테 나시나 감각 개경을 때는 개경으로 당한다.
And so generally talking about the teacher, every kind of knowledge that we have, every single knowledge that we have in this world is gained through teacher, right?
배나 개개사한테 간지 소소라 얘한테 랑면들라 개개 시찬이 개개사 데려와.
So generally, the teacher means someone who teaches us, right? Anything, any single, tiny small thing that is taught by somebody is, teacher, right?
들리장 가서 노루 칼라 살루 라서봐 다 밤엔 선배 감각 다 미식 랍서 장자로 와.
So, our parents, who's been teaching us how to eat, how to walk, how to talk, and all these things. So our teacher, right? So everything that we have, everything that we know about in this life is taught by a teacher.
Today that design nganzo PhD the professor to kanga gege kadila tene so gege kana je kali jabala tene tene yende shongro.
And then all the knowledge that people gain, through having the PhD degrees and becoming professor and so forth, all this knowledge that they gain is through the teachers, right?
Ngo tende za to shega gege sa ta kari chi mushra yamba ti na ta nambe ta karo tawa to ni jaba toya ge lam tenge ge ta tele cha cha yamba res.
And so, in general, the teachers are very kind, right? We owe so much to the teachers for all our knowledges, and especially the teacher who teaches the path to achieve liberation and to be free from cycle existence is even more than that.
When we got high school, do you guys think that the teachers are very kind? Maybe not, right? We say, their job, they got pay, their job, but they got job. That's their job, they got paid. So they're very kind, they give for all the knowledge for us. One part is, of course, their job, this is also their benefit, we can just regularly think that, they're hardworking, they're not easy to teach for the, students, very, even the regular teachers are very kind.
So every single knowledge that we have is by the kindness of the teachers, right?
What is that? Ani shadang nambe ge shun kache nala chi ani chewa ma tamjo nyeka na chewa ma tama ngela so ma tene shinyi te so ya da. Ani gashe ge nala ani o shinyi te ngola so ma tene yore ta ngazo ani shinyi te ngola ta namdo so ma so go yore so.
So, depending on what will be the most beneficial for the students, for the disciples, the teachers will teach in different ways. So some teach the prophethood and rebirth at the beginning, and then they teach about the good devotion. But some teaches the good devotion at the beginning. So just like this text, it teaches the good devotion at the beginning, and then it follows to all other subjects, like prophethood and rebirth, death and impermanence, and so forth.
So
we have already gone through all the explanations, teachings about the good devotion. And so after that, then it teaches about the precious, prophethood and rebirth, how difficult it is to achieve, how meaningful it is, and so forth. And we have gone through that also, right? So this human life, with all these 8 leisures and 10 endowments, is very difficult to achieve and has a great meaning, has a great value, but will not last forever. Right? So it will come to end, called death. And so before that time of death comes, then we have to practice Dharma. And about that and impermanence, then it is explained in the 3 roots, the 3 roots and 9 reasonings. So the 3 reasons for each root. So the first root, is that we all die, definitely going to die. Right? The death is definite.
아니 신도고래 대 아니 전체 강가자 독토고 말에 탑간이나 독토고 말에세 아니 리치나 일어나야 팬도고 말에 내 간다 신바야 그래서로 아 요래서로
and so the first root, which is the death is certain, so we'll definitely die, right? Nobody can live forever, and so nobody has lived forever in the history, right? And there isn't anybody who has lived forever, so how can we live? And then no matter what kind of body we have, what kind of rebirth we have, we're not going to live forever. No matter where we are, what kind of place we are in, we cannot. There isn't like place, such a place where we will never die. So no matter where you are, no matter what kind of body you have, you will definitely die.
다 대하 고발할 때는 다 취소와 셰고와 타체고래 타체 바스 취소와 타체고래스.
And so because we're going to definitely die, and therefore we should practice dharma.
와지 드레나다 네버는 쳐와서 돼 섭체 쏨이래 다때 자동화도 자동 가다 천선마 인스.
And so the one root and the three reasonings of the first one, the death is certain, and we have already discussed about that.
우리 다 진짜니바 안에 남증 해봐매 봐스.
And then now the second root, is the time of death is uncertain.
그리고 셰다 남질랑 해봐야 디나게 다 잠블리 텔로제비 마들라 안에 다 가디시로 다 디서 되는 천이요 말레스.
And so death is the time of death is uncertain, and especially for people of this world. The people of this world, at this time of degeneration, it's very uncertain. People can die anytime.
그리고 아니 된리게 다 진짜 해반 쳐와서 말아 진짜 좀 대선 하고 그러더니 아니 추대 다 다다라는 시고 너선데 다 탁쳐봐 대탁치고 그래서.
And so these are the three reasons, right? For this root, the time of death is uncertain. You never know when you're going to die. And so, and so at the end, at the conclusion of this, discussion or practice, then you should come to the conclusion, thinking that I must practice right now. So from the beginning, from the first root, you say I must practice dharma, and then the second root, at the conclusion of the second root, you say I must practice dharma right now.
근데자 다 남층에 봐선 잠블링 물량에 봐매 봐 대양 로 제슈다 게제다 안에 뺀 도매다 개개요 말했다 점점 안에 보고 내려셔네 아마 바와말 하대봐도 점점 바와 아마 내려셔네 보고 하대봐다 되는 라모 나서 요래서는 나론 통화에나 저런 통화면 저로에나 산이 쇼케메와 대다 가디샤고 말해서 대대 가서만도 랍사이스.
And so the lifespan of the people of this world is the southern continent, the Jambudeva, is very uncertain, and therefore many people may die any time. One can die any time. It is not certain that the old one will die first and then the young one will die later. It's not that you will die only when you become old. You can die in a very young age. You can die. You may die inside the womb. You may die soon after you're born, and so forth. So there's no certainty of the time of death especially in this southern continent.
그래가 딱 가서 쉐에 가리 쉐나 치치고 가리나 쉐 여완 치셔고 이제 가리나 정도 도바로 사그려 왔어.
And so why do we have to practice dharma, even if there is, even if it's true that the time that is certain? Why do we have to practice dharma?
배차잖아. 저도나 갈아사고로 왔어.
For example, if you are hungry, then you have to eat, right?
답시 야수 데려와다. 저도에 등아 새 답시 야수 갈아사야 데려와.
And so that's the best method, right? Eating. If you're hungry, eating is the best method.
Do you have any methods? Any different ways? 갈아사야 쭈보고 저거서 등아 팽으로 왔어. 새 팽하게 왔어.
Is there any other method that you can apply to overcome the hunger without eating? I mean, the eating is the only method, right?
배나가도 저도 되고 캄바티오나 녀나가도 저도 팽으로 해.
So if you're hungry and let's say you're lying on a very comfortable bed, will that help to not become hungry?
저도 갈아야 말하지. 다 응어지 사야 melem mambo 서들야 쓰네 되드나. 저도 이가봐. 아니 갈아마도 팽 말아 됩니다.
So when you're hungry, at the time when you're hungry, even if you have like millions of dollars piled on your side, will that eradicate your hunger? So if you don't eat, even if you have that, millions of dollars piled on your side, it will not, eradicate the hunger, right?
다 졸라 깨달아 보진 잠불 리다 깨도 뭐 깨다 안게 담보도 전화해 되나 저도서만 깨다게 100만 줘 갈마다 100만 원 가서
So even if you are the most famous person in the entire world, at the time when you're hungry, that fame will not help you to not be hungry, right?
right
You don't
It's-
eat.
seems beautiful you're the most beautiful in the whole world but you when you're hungry you don't eat this name or this beautiful doesn't help it I think when you're 가서 we 내색이 다텔 룬도 리바 가르치나 때 따다래 와서
That's true, right? We can prove that, by any kind of logical reasonings.
다 싫어 오늘 싫어 되는 추제고죠 가르는 싫어도 삼발라 다 추추고 팬도 그래서 텐데다 제고 그래서 나도 그래서
So the reason why we have to practice Dharma is because at the time of death, only thing that will benefit is Dharma. Therefore, the only thing that's benefited is Dharma. So only thing that will benefit you at the time when you're hungry is the food. Therefore, you have to eat. So just like that, and the only thing that's going to be beneficial for you at the time of death is Dharma. Therefore, you should practice Dharma.
다 싫어 내가 다 채사 와서
And so that is certain, right? That is certain. We're going to die, right?
다 싫어도 매매로 와는 것도 남배 다 걔네서 그는 뭐 따와서 그는 뭐다 점다서 뭐대로 와서
And after we die, we're not going to disappear, right? We're going to continue. Our life is going to continue to the next life, right? So, you can say that is the belief or the view of the Buddhism, but that's true, right? The truth is that we're going to continue, to live and continue, to next life again.
그봐 텐데가 텐데가 깨와지 렘바는 깨와들라 아니 지 같이 덴로당 겐도서 그다음에 아니 누가냐이래도 다 대와냐이래 다 제사 다 만들어 니도 소를 봤어.
And then when we continue to the next life, what kind of life we're going to have in the next life, it depends, right? Depends on what kind of karma we have created. So what brings us to the good or bad is the positive and negative karma. So if you have created positive karma, then that will bring us a good rebirth. If you have created more negative karmas, then that will bring us lower realms and so forth.
그래서 깨와 남매가 같이 강사 뒤가 지 야보지 지니 개회 짜와라 때니 단단감도 강가 온보 청와 다 가리나 강에 명예를 지다 깨대도 왔어.
And so because of our life person, and our previous life's person created good karma, because of that, we are born as human beings. We have all the senses complete, and we have all these facilities to practice Dharma and so forth. So it's all because of the good karma that our previous life person created.
근데 이제 딱 가도 나라서 아메리카나라 영에도 내려야 밑초들라 딱 가서 간가라 지 질을 말레베 딱 강이쇼 여러 왔어. 이나 셴 잠블에다나 아메리카 세대 다 잠블링네 양세로 쓰여레스.
So of course, we have a lot of problems in America, inside America, right? But when the other world, people of other world think of America, it's like it's the top of the place, to live, and where there will be less sufferings and so forth. That's what to consider, right? But of course, there are sufferings inside here, but it's considered as a very happy place to live.
I don't know, happy or maybe not. 다 내란 튼진 좀도 왔어. 가지 소소 드바이나 가려나 드벤도 와.
And so we're not sure, just people think that's happy doesn't mean that we're happy, of course. But we have all these facilities here, right? That other people don't have in other part of the world. So if you intend, if you strive yourself, then there's so much things that you can achieve here.
아니 다 저도 자가 돈이 뭐 보여 왔어. 자가라야 릴리나라야 미사코나 지네다 방고전에 릴리나라야 또노마 또노 미체코나 때치는 뭐 보여 그래서. 아니 개념나라 가라사된 뭐 보여 그래서.
And so some of you have been to India, right? There are so many people in India, so many people, who live their life just in the train, begging in the train. They go down with the train, begging inside the train. They go up and begging inside the train. They spend all their life, and it's not only one or two people. There are so many of them who do that, and there are so many of them who live in trash. So there's no home, there's no homeless, just live in trash.
Do you guys saw in India? Even so that we saw a lot of Africans there, right? There's 다 룸반디나라야 pen homeless and live soso devaina ane jarkub shunga kola to hotene there's a trek to us so devaina
But in here, even if you are homeless, if you live, they will give you a place to live, right? In shelters, homeless shelters, and so for all these facilities you have here.
근데 이제 다 셔땅 잠블에 되나 다 아메리카 된 거니 다 미간게 대화진도 지기 어렸어. 내가 말랑이 되죠.
And so, because of that, many people in the other part of the world think that America is like a heaven. Right?
But heaven had a lot of problems, right? I think that Buddha teaching degenerate time also heaven had a lot of problems. Anyway, compare the other place. This is a very, best.
Very good place to live.
Very good place to live, right? If you doesn't do nothing, but if you do, you can find any kind, some small thing, the jobs. In India, in China, I didn't so much. When I go to the place, we don't so much there, local people that, but they say there are a lot. Even people want to do something that nothing to do. Just stay. In India, you can see many places. I went to many different places. If you went to India, you can see many. If people want to do that, they have nothing to do. Here, you can do something. There are good things, not very good, but a lot of things to do. You can find something to do. Therefore, they call heaven. Then I don't know this heavens, how good the heaven. Maybe the people in here, they're more stressed. Stressed. The last week, the daughter come here. He said, "What? Everybody not stressed." He told everybody, "Don't think too much. Don't think too much." He said, "Why are you guys too stressed?" He's the holiness daughter. He's do this very, very, very well. He said very well. Can say. He can read the human. He gave everybody, "Don't think too much. Don't think too much." Here, everybody has a lot of. Tinje kasen zomba ina, taasik ta kange yorin. Tinje ki ta sengba kange segmar se insara was.
And so, no matter how much good external facilities we have, that will not help to remove the problems of the mind. Right? The mental problem cannot be removed by the external physical things.
Ane sanjiga song yoris. Shin tinje ki chana semga dewa. Ane teto mare semga dewa semga cheko yoris. Ate tada rendo.
So it's true when Buddha said that the inner peace has to be brought by the inner mind itself. It cannot be brought by the external facilities, external things.
And
so inner peace, cannot be bought, from anywhere. Even no matter where you go in the world, you'll not be able to buy that.
We can do search to buy the inner peace to Google. Usually we can find a lot of things at Amazon.com. Very cheap things also there. I think inner peace is not possible.
And so therefore the inner peace is brought only by mind, inner mind. And so how to achieve this inner peace of the mind is explained extensively in this text, like the liberation in the palm of your hand. And so we become unhappy, we create the negative karmas, and then the result of that negative karma, then we become unhappy in the next life, in the future. And so we're going to definitely die. At the time of death, what will be of any benefit, would be the Dharma practice. And Dharma here means like creating virtuous actions, right? So if you have created virtuous action, then the result, of that virtuous action will be happiness, and that will be the one that will help, also to have happiness in the future. And so, because we're going to die, it's definite that we're going to die, and we should practice Dharma. because the Dharma is the only thing that's going to be of benefit at the time of death.
소소라 강에 대디 팬 도야지 등 가서 가려나 제거를 왔어.
So we'll do anything we'll do anything that will be of benefit at the time of difficulties, right?
그냥 안중이 셉체가 왔어. 이 셉체의 가르치들이 소소라 강에 대비 갑도 배치 당하시더래.
And so anything that will be beneficial at the time of difficulties. And so the reason why we save money is so that it will be beneficial at the time when we're in difficulties, right?
어디 텐데다 다 대리 전체 니백 니파스 남정에 밤에 봐서라 다좀 잠블링라 세바 텔라다 님 봐요 말이 좀 보신다고 그래서 다 텔라 진짜 동보시 진짜 니바데 제때 맞아 손제 뉴에 장 남처럼 내 밤에 봐서 저들어서 소리.
And so the first reason of the second root is that the lifespan of the people from the southern continent, the Zambudeva, is not fixed. Whereas like other places they're fixed, but there it's not fixed, so we may die any time, right? And then the second reason is we may die anytime because of many factors contributing towards our death. And so it's in page 313, 313, if you have the blue cover book, and anyway, so it is the topic, so outline 144. Outline 144.
Okay, 됐다. 다 된도 왔어. 라레 따따 닌지 몰음다 소놈다 사지지 두지 다 껴와레스 다 가서 껴와레스 먼저 다른 데 챘나니 수수가 써야지 소놈다 아니 수수다 산지기 두지 몰음다 다 가서 다 맺게 되레스 이나타 내는 지점만 보시라레스.
And so it's like it says, we are now protected by our past prayers, our merits, and the Buddha's compassion. But there are, besides a great many contributed factors towards our deaths. And so right now we're kind of protected by being born as a human being, right?
다 시점만 보시라레스 시에만 보시라레스 봐. 라라 샤리라 드라만 코바진 쳇첸 게르 톤트라 자체 the namji sanibadang and we will in na nyamte zin he there ta tonzo ger tonra ja che san dong so ta so che ga ta nambe chu no mim boy res tonzo ta ga gugne de res ne che ja tabja ro nem ane shari wala mko wana je den ga no ko de ro.
But we're not totally protected, because there are so many factors, that brings about death, right? And like it says here, like flies buzzing around rotten meat, 80,000 different types of hindering spirits and factors contributing to death surrounds us.
And then nerik shibja tabja, don't samja tucha, shive dunje jonga, yento samja tucha soji, ranka tsesola ngam nede ta tanzo ngando tset, ta gaji.
And there's like it says, they wonder, when can we eat you? So these spirits, right? The 80,000 hindering spirits, when can we eat you? When can we take your breath from you? And the 404 types of disease swarm around us like a fog. And there's 360 types of evil spirits and 15 great evil spirits who attack children. The 360 devouring spirits and so forth are greedy for our lives.
다 간지 콘도데 간도 체서 사기는 가지 간도 희야게 땡데는 몽보요 그래서.
And so it's just using the word eating, right? When can we eat you? I don't know whether they can eat you or not, but they all bring this factor for your death, right?
삼점 가지 때 가지 양지 딱 가도 나타나는 신도시 이런 거를 봤어. 나타나는 신도시.
And so sometimes people die because of severe illnesses, disease, right?
And then sometimes 지 땡데데 지. 다 람람만으로 같이 모라도도 다는 같은 내신으로 같은 소다 땡데 속은 야 미마인들 내가 지기 그래서.
And sometimes people face sudden death, because of getting into a car accident and so forth, or sometimes because of the obstacles or hindrances caused by the spirits. And so this is what they're talking about.
And she came about the neighbor mother, Nangakinlaya, and the drills you to do and 강바로 지금 알고잖아. top chewa de chunga ta chuwa de da chuma kanga chi sanga ban de ni ro chi ba re se nganzu le ya ne lu da chpa da ba ke sam tanzo ta yo wa re se aro tanzo ji cha nyam ma nyam kala ani nganzu na yong re ta lu bu ma da cha ngore se.
Says you do not just have these external contributory factors. If you put 4 snakes into a container, the strongest snakes will eat the rest. And if the humors, such as wind, bile, and the phlegm, or the 4 elements get little out of balance, this can be a contributory factor towards you losing your life.
nganzu jela sachimelun juwaji tet chamani makala ane long tipa paket some
So we have these 4 elements in our body, right? The earth, element, the wind, the space, and the water, and the fire, and so forth. So all these elements, they have to be balanced in our body. If any of these are not balanced, and then that will cause this disease like wind, bile, and phlegms to arise, and that will cause the death.
But this is maybe their daughters give. Maybe they can explain more. How can this come in? What is that? That chiwi chen ma des somba yen the juze nyuze chi de da tam jin chiwi ya de we da de chulan zes kanje sombe chen ya ma bo ji ani ta nga zo kala sa la so ba ni sombe chen de na ya de yang chiwi chen ma mo do ba de da da de ka de na ta chu che go re de pe ja ka ri ma shi de ba na chimi.
So I don't know what text it is said in. It doesn't say here either, but it says many more factors contribute to your death. Very few contribute to your life, and even these all contribute to your death. So even those which contribute, which are supposed to contribute to your life, can contribute to your death also. Therefore, always practice dharma. So the food is supposed to contribute to our life, right? So, but sometimes the food can also cause death, right? So by eating wrong food or by getting food poison and so on and so forth, you can die from that.
아니 신도와 다든 단들 못하요. 당가만들 가지면 가지 팀도. 근데 가지도 만도 이제 손배 같은 게야. 가서 가지 담는 신도와. 아니 다 소수고 조보대야 소수고 로바단 삼성 조보를 해내야 신도와들 마모용도 와서.
And like it says here, not only are there many internal and external contributory factors to death, but many of those the factors contributing to your life may also contribute to death. Like house can collapse, so house is for your life, right, to protect you. But when it collapses, it may kill you. And then boats and can break up, or overturn, and horse can buck and trample you. So in ancient time, they used horse to bring them to from place to place, but that can also cause death, right? Supposed to help people can cause death. And then also like the friends, and so somebody that you can rely on, somebody you trust in, can also turn into an enemy, can trick you and then cause death.
We can take or the horse, we can put the car, or maybe elephant here, or not airplane. What is Maze se mantraba temen chiche shesta se mantraba shi ta pandalap ba shirwas.
And then also it says that the food can disagree with you. It means like like food poison and so forth. Right? So that can cause death also.
Tembe jensela ani rare ge cheso de lumar nangi ta lapadre mambo sang ga marmet chipares tembe jense ta ngombol tuk sumares ani chabda chenji na ne ba lumar nanda duma ndug marme jens ta nganso so de nganso ta de chipares.
And so many things can act as contributory factors towards death, right? So even those which supposed to live, supposed to support the life, can become conditioned for death, right? And so just like said by Nagarjuna here, It says our life force is like a butter lamp. Our life is like a butter lamp in a draft. So where there's a wind blowing, if you have a butter lamp light lit on that, and the wind blowing, so the wind is blowing, so it may like blow off the light, right? The butter lamp light or the candle light anytime. So Nagarjuna said here, we live surrounded by the factors of Lord of Death, like an oil lamp in a draft.
그래서 다 공부를 듣고 손을 다 인지로 왔어.
So it's said by Nagarjuna, must be true, right?
아시탱 오늘에 와. 다 루마나 나이베 단데 말메테 타고 갈래갈래 또 대로로 왔어. 대로로 왔어. 거기까지 대하고 말어 왔어.
And so we don't have to trust just because it's said by Nagarjuna, right? It's a common sense. You can, if you have a light, candlelight, and then it's the wind blowing to wood, there's a very and a high chance for it to, it will be put off, right? So, so that's how our life is. So it's like our life is like a lamp and a draft.
어떤지자 당가도 희는 저거 그래서 시디 가리게 펜도도 추기 펜도 그랬는데 추도고 그래서 다 단다 진짜니 받아 나가도 진짜니 배기 그래 자위가 사치니 배기 진짜 담보로들 다 니바서만 말어도 다 내려다 다 가지고 추 단단한 제가 다시 그래서
And so that's the first reason. First reason of the second root, how the time of death is uncertain, because we may die any time. And then there's a second reason, and the third reason. And so all these, so that was the second reason, right? And then there's the third reason. At the end of the third reason, then you have to come to the conclusion, saying that I must practice Dharma right now because I may die any time.
다 가르쳐나 시디 추마도 생각해 두고 문도 왔다 대 도와줘도 주드럽고 그래서
And so that's because only Dharma can be of benefit at the time of death. So therefore, I must practice Dharma right now.
저도디 갈아사고 그래 저걸 배 갈아사 주보들에서 벨치 바로
So just like only thing that would be of benefit at the time when you were hungry is the food. So just like that, only thing that is going to be of any benefit at the time of death is the Dharma.
오케이 대다 레몬도 삼노당 되는 가서 되는 대샤 되는 저거는 저거 당 좋스
And so if it's true or not, you can think about it. And then we'll stop here for today. And if you have any questions, we'll maybe have some question answers.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Oh yeah, you can help. They have some place.
All right. So,
You just talk.
I just have a very quick question, Yeshua. We mentioned about how we should treat our books with respect. And on my altar, I don't have enough room left for all my books, but I do have a meditation bench. I can keep it on there, right?
Yeah, you can put that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Also, I think I already told you guys many times, I said don't put your glass above that book. I think I told many times. You pen, sometimes we put pen there, even the statue cannot go above the books. Books, they're number one, You can see here, we don't put any books, any statue to put above the statue, Even some level, the different section, like that. Therefore, it's very important. Also, when you come here, I mentioned maybe many times, people have to look us here. They have to, cross?
Walk over.
Over. You can just move this table like this way or this way. Then you go. Usually people doesn't do. They try to just, they try to get, but you lack so over there. Always just move this way, move that way, then just come, then put back. This is some method. Usually this, not just you guys, all of it. I think Western is not custom, not habit, It's completely, you have to put books very important, Usually this country, their habit or this custom, books just some. Then this habit, take it, look so nothing. And
So it has become like a habit, right? Customary habit. So that you step on a book, you sit on a book, use it like a cushion sometime, and all these things. People do that, right? And so then they tend to treat the Dharma book like that also. That's not good.
Therefore, it's, 딱 저도 가도요 말아. 된적이 있다. 냠냠요 말아. 다들 싸워는 거라.
So it's a new thing for you, right? So you're not taught like that, so it's difficult, but you should try your best not to, disrespect.
always, 삼삼 배나 나라들의 랑에 용도 있어. 목대마 마검란 그 어떤 고다스 때 나를 고다라는 말가 득바 지난 거 싸워요. 와서.
So some people say, sorry, to me when they have walked over my book. I said, it doesn't matter to me. You're the one who's paying me.
Of course, he says sorry for me. It's good, good, respect, But it doesn't matter with me. You get more negative karma. I always say that, this is not benefit for me. I say, please don't do that. That makes you, the passaver as well. You carry the negative karma. Therefore, don't do that, Even you say, sorry, it's good, Therefore, try to all the time, put books. I saw sometimes I go to people's house. They put above the hamkoshasa kanshasha the
Shoe rack.
Shoe rack, and all the clothes also there, in the jacket there, above there. There's no good. Try to bring your place. If you have some meditation room, some practice room, just put there. And then some you also altar, put there, Anyway, put two. How much is possible your high place. Not same as the shoes. Shoes, book, key, all put together same place. Not like that, okay? Okay, then? Yeah. Who's first? Okay.
I want to go back to anger.
Okay.
One thing I find is when I get angry, at some level it feels good. How do you and I have a hard time letting go of the anger because at some level it feels good.
야, 삼삼들의 요를 봐. 나 소소 코로라 소소 강해지나? 코로라 지금 땜바이나? 뒷강에도 마세로 소소지. 다 설명도 용도 강에도 시사라나? 지 소소 셈마라고 전화했는데 저 땜바를 용거래서.
Yeah, you're right. Sometimes when you express, your anger, then that helps. That seems like kind of helping at that time to overcome that trouble that you've been having in your mind.
옛날 된리게 저렇게 저런 된리게 다 공로되게로 와. 몇 셈발라 파 너무 맞지 봐도 수수고 대화 아니 킨로면나 그 내가 어떻게 해요 말했어.
So if that anger doesn't harm other person and doesn't destroy your inner peace, then that's okay to be angry.
You can just live there. 아니 상조 셈바도 수고 아니 공로도 돈도 다 현대집이 연락 받게 그랬어.
Just like bodhisattvas, can transform the anger as a factor to benefit others.
먼저 공로 두자르나 공로 되고 소수가 대화 좀 돼야 나 셈발라 둥아 뭐 땡이 완자 내 공로 두자르서 그래서 그 대만은 그 내가 어떻게 메로웠어.
So the anger is bad because it destroys our inner peace and harms other people. Therefore, it is bad. But if it doesn't do either of those two things, then it's not bad.
It's nothing harm, right? Okay? 그 마치 공로 마사지가 진짜 되더라고요.
So that's the reason why we should not get angry. If it doesn't happen if that doesn't happen, then it's okay to be angry.
That's okay. Also, if it's true, sometimes we have a lot of problems. We have very, very difficult things happen here. Then we can the 강의 파식 코너라고 선을 납잖아. 그 만장하거든요. 용도 와서.
So when you have something that you've been keeping in your heart and then you explode it with anger and then say it out, then you feel like, oh yeah, finally I did it, and then you feel like comfortable at the time, right?
But also you have to check whatever you. If this example you say someone, your problems, you harsh about some fight someone, say, if this cause for them be uncomfortable, then this is also not good.
So even though you feel good, but if that brings harm to other person, then that's not good again.
Then better to not again. But it's difficult, Everybody, we are just habit all the time, Holiness mentioned, attachment, angry, they say. We are not very bad. We always do whatever you want, whatever you wish. We do for you that. Why we bad? Attachment always bring for us things, right? Whatever we lack, attachment bring for help for that. Angry, whatever we doesn't want, what wish, then he protect you like that, right? Angry. When there is some problem or we have something, the angry coming, he protects for looks like that. The attachment bring for us that. You like that or you like that, But even you look that, but the nature or this, how you say, the nguyo na tano kanji konyi ga rang jana dewa te dunga te wa ta gutu chares.
So that's how you feel, about anger and attachment. Anger seems to appear as the protector to you. So when you become angry, then that seems like, that's protecting you, and attachment seems like fulfilling your desires. So whatever you want, because I want this, because of that, then you get all these things. So you are given all these things, by attachment, and you are protected by anger. That's how we feel. But in reality, these two minds, which are delusional, they always bring suffering to us and other people.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Now who's first? 1, 2, 3. Okay, Ian.
So I have a question about karma.
Okay.
Is every form of pain and suffering we go through in life a result of negative karma? Because some things in life, for example, if you're going through pain, it's a sign of progress. Like if you're exercising, you go through pain and suffering, it's a sign that your muscles are developing, you're becoming healthier. So in that way, it's a sign that you're progressing, even though it's not pleasant. Is that type of pain and suffering considered to be a result of negative karma?
그러다가 동화 상마드네 미교 레기 되고 그랬어. 배는 가서 다 그런 배셔야 되던 가서 배는 로제제도네 속볼 강행 거라. 나서 거라. 이나 되겠다 속보 야자도 할 평겨라. 나서 거 같다. 대 로제 제발 때는 속보 야자도 거라. 근데 강행 용어도 강행때 때는 미교 레기 되고 그랬어. 다들 그런 배셔. 나 배셔는 가서 배는 차서 드는 가서 강행어라. 이나 다 차사야 되게 강행 되겠지는 가서 사람 사거라. 근데 강행 차서 드는 강행 용어죠라. 때 강행때 미교 레기 되고 그랬어. Now I'm putting more example on top of what you said, like when we make prostration, like you have a pain, in your knees, in your back, in your arms, you get pain also. Is that pain also a result of negative karma?
Shena kanga do les na do la ju mares wa. Ina bena sha sa ding do ta su bula kan ni chewa ndo. Te nga so dikpa top che che tang go dikpa top che wa inda gewe sha wa che de nga so su bo kan ka gres. Mo la gres. And 다 리체테네 칼에 카드다 먹이는데 게 나면 강가도 낼
샤워 주라.
대도 샤야는
그 유가 샤워라.
다데 그 거라게 수보라 칼에 트네
그 겐디 거라데 루즈제데 겐라. 루즈제데 겐라. 유디 걸 샤워라.
다데 제노 어디 카투 제노 차노 그때.
So what will happen if you say yes? So you do exercise, right? You do exercise, and the pain that you experience during the exercise is the result of negative karma. The exercise, is the act of exercise, is the condition for that suffering, but the real cause is the negative karma. And same with the prostration. So when you do prostration, you experience the pain. That pain is the result of negative karma. But by experiencing that pain, you purify the negative karma. And so you can, I don't know, what do you see, if you say it is all negative karma, result of negative karma?
The example you gave about prostrations,
Yes.
when you do that and you experience the pain, that purifies negative karma.
Mm-hmm.
What about when I'm just simply doing a neutral action, like exercising? Is that purifying negative karma?
Not in Romaste.
신다 강강에 가서 마음보다 뉴하게 다 동화기도 등월때 되게 세게 말아. 이나당에만 레사샤줘라. 그 레디즈 오르오라.
다데 감시 당난 근데 리체체기 소소 동안이한테 먹이는데 벌써 가시대.
그래 되고 나왔다데. 유디 가르샤오래.
제대 시다다 고 소체 년인지 본보에서 고 가르치나 고 지오지도 메와.
메가라.
그런 먹이는 그런 내절 그런 먹이와도 대를 들어와서 그걸 야고지 용매로면서. 다티 제등가만 먹이와지 사셔서는 티 하고 메스.
So Geshe said he's not very sure you can say that that's a negative karma. But let's say if you say that's a negative karma, result of negative karma, and then question, the answer to your question would be like, of course, when you do the prostration, not only you purify the negative karma at that time, but also that helps to purify the other negative karmas, and that you will not have to experience in the future. But by experiencing the pain of doing exercise, you purify the negative karma of that only of that karma. That doesn't help to purify other negative karmas. Make sense?
So when you do the
So of course, any pain that we're going through, right? You have created karma. When you go through that pain, then the karma is gone.
exhausted.
No problem. No more there. Right? It's exhausted. Exactly. It's exhausted. But then when you do the purification, when you do the prostration, that pain not only exhausts the karma, that you have created, to experience the pain, but also it purifies the other negative karmas that you will not have to experience in the future, or as a result of which negative karmas, you will not have to experience in the future.
So the pain during the neutral action is just exhausting that particular, you're going through that hardship, it's getting rid of that particular negative karma, but
That's
doesn't mean
right.
you're not going to suffer in the future.
Exactly. This shakashura. The one you know let's order water. Let's say the water. You matter how the one you have. Let's say this say the water. Another time, the Nyamlen Chidun, the Tamaset, and other Sidan Miguel is a pound water. Yeah, that's true.
사체 년에 풍부해서 다 콜라 가르치나 가지 레라우종 말했어.
So, and then other thing is also the body, the contaminated aggregate, right? So because of that, the suffering of all pervasive condition of pervasive suffering, because of that nature, you experience the pain, Yeah. And again, so that pain, that suffering, the result of the contaminated aggregate, the suffering, all pervasive suffering, is again also a result of negative karma, right? Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you, Geshe.
Now your turn. Yeah, you.
Well, I guess I was just working off of the anger issue where you said, I don't remember exactly what you said, but there's something to the effect that if, there is some anger you can utilize, which as long as it doesn't affect the person that's near you or yourself, then it's considered good. I mean, ideally, I know anger should be dealt with in terms of patience. That's the ultimate antidote, it seems. But in this very realistic day-to-day world, moving through it, I wanted to know what would be a good example of, is that skillful means using anger in a certain way so it doesn't harm you or the other person?
Yeah.
More concrete examples would be, if at all possible, would be nice.
가서.
그래, 나 빼가래 샤워했어. 빼나가서 다 콘도 람케다 람케라. 다 자주 삼아서 다 콘도 람케는데 때 신대 제라. 데데 빼데 간데 샤워했어. 다 야면 다다 다이가서 데다 갑고라 콘도 사바는다. 다 콘도 사야데 다 콘도 정말이 녀보다 녀보 쪼도 들었다. 소바고 만들어. 그런 저 소바고 만들어. 뒤치는 거 얘나 다 갑고라 콘도 사올라 때는 셴다 펜 더야 될 간데 셴. 다 빼서 가서 다 가서 콘도 사네 되는 미션다 패야지라.
대표셔나 저랑기 공로 사다지 와 옛날와 샘라 가지다 이제 돌아야 말세. 아니 옛날 가두 콜리지 공로라고 했는데 지금 샤워 말을 제거나 대수 영화에 제다 고 이제 마더에 되는 때가 먼저 제다 이제 공로라고 했던 지금 다 잡고 내가 지웠는데 제거를 했어. 그러.
다 콘도 땜바래 맞아. 뭐는 콘도 사.
오늘 공로 사야 말다. 공로 때만 마시러.
So generally, you can say yes, the anger brings problem, right? So in general, right? But if you pretend to be angry, you pretend to be angry. You pretend to be angry, so in some cases you have to pretend to be angry, but most of us we become angry. We become really angry. So you're really angry. Your child is doing bad, and then out of that anger you say, no, don't do that, and you shout at the person, and then she says, oh, okay, I should not do that. That benefits, right? That your anger, benefited that person in that way. But generally, and that of course is not good for yourself because then you're developing that kind of more anger to yourself, right? So even if you shout in an angrily way to that person, to your child or to your student, but you should hold compassion in your mind towards that person all the time, And so if you do out of compassion to benefit that person, I'm going to shout at her, I'm going to shout at him. If you do that, then of course, that's how you take the anger on the path to, benefit others, to enlightenment.
Okay.
단한가서 단 남백인데 수마 예담도서 딱 고로 사대기 mik다대기 딱 저도
So,
된저고 대치고다 대치고로.
so you can't have anger and compassion at the same time, right? If you real anger and real compassion, but you can have a compassion and pretentious anger at the time. So you pretend to be angry, but inside you really have compassion for that person. And out of compassion, then you shout, beat, and kill also.
For their genuine benefit, though.
So for their benefit, right?
Genuine benefit, because
genuine
it's a very tricky path, because
Exactly.
you can fall into the realm of ego,
Yeah,
being
yeah,
egotistic,
exactly, yeah,
and
yeah.
then you're
So,
sort of spiraling into
totally
that
out
more
of
and more.
compassion and thought to benefit others. So you can show that. So that's why we have all these wrathful deities.
Yeah.
So they're
Yeah.
not really angry, but they're pretending to be angry.
Right.
And showing the anger, as a means, to tame other beings.
But that's good. That's great if you're a deity. But if you're just an
Ordinary.
ordinary human, it's a little dicey.
Yeah, that's what I'm
it's
saying. Yeah.
tricky.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, example, the mothers, maybe kids, maybe under 10 years old. Sometimes they beat. I don't know, maybe beat here, but they was very angry. Shout, but their mind did. They're not get angry. The kids doesn't do homework, then maybe doesn't do, then for they have to do that, then show the little angry, but they really, patience, compassion, or attachment, or they never give up.
Yeah,
Like that.
yeah. It's the kids over the age of 10 that's a little
Then,
tricky.
over maybe 13, then, the tricky, the parents say, Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, now you have.
What is the southern continent?
가서. 론담블리 해야 돼. 난
Holding.
담블리
링시어라.
니 시간한테 로쇼들 했어라. 로.
So there are 4 continents, and the one that falls in the south is the southern continent.
나 대강도 라파잖아. 아니. 남백이라나 리저버를 없이 되게 로쇼라 있었어. 그래서.
There's the Buddhist cosmology, talking about the cosmology. That's how the world is formed. And there's a Mount Meru, and then there are 4 continents on the 4 directions of the Mount Meru, and they are all different realms. And so like a different world, like in general, we might say different world, from different worlds, the people from different worlds, like that. So the world, the world in the south is called the southern continent. And so we call it world in English, right? So in Sanskrit or Tibetan, when you say Zambudeva, so that's like the southern continent. The world is in the southern continent, the world. So other things are called, like unpleasant continent and things like that. So the world continent, is the southern continent. That's how it's explained. But we don't really know if it's like that or not.
잠바세한테 티 치디나라 아니 신 잠바세에 사네 깬 잠세 잡을 때는 잠블이다 다르스 친들 라긴도 왔어.
So the Tibetan word zambuling, like zambuling is the ling is a continent and zam is like just a word, It's just the word that came out of sound. So in the water, a fruit fell in the water and then zam, so like it makes a sound, or maybe splash, or I don't know. Or you can call it splash continent, In English, maybe in Tibetan, they made the zam, sound, and then they call the zambu, So zambu, ling is the continent. So that's how it's explained.
Okay.
And it says that it's people of this world, people living in that world. The other continent, there's a lifespan is fixed. In that continent, lifespan is not fixed.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Geshe.
Then you can study there more to this lojo mojin tinata slow movers.
So there's a whole text about all this phenomenology and about the cosmology. So if you study that, then it will explain all about those cosmology.
지금 잠블에 담보 가리 차고요. 가리 지기요. 차선요.
So it explains how the world is formed, how the universe is formed, and how it come to end, and then how it's going to be formed again, and so forth. It explains all these things.
Okay, thank you. Anyway. Okay. 닫아줘. Then we stop.
Yeah.
Yep, thank you.
Please turn to page 39. 29 for a Thanksgiving Mongol offering. Saji perki jukching me totran, mi rab ling ji ni de gien padi, sangye jing du mikte uwagi, drokon nam dag jing la cher pa shuk. Jetsun lame kute rab ten ching, nam katrin le chok chug ye padam, lo sang ten pedrun me sasung yi, droe mun sel tak tu ne gyurchi. Idam guru ratna mandalakam niryatayami. Tsongkhapa's final lam-rim prayer. From my two collections, vast is space that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for those whose mind, wisdom, eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all my lives, Manjushri. May I find the best of complete graded paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by practicing. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I uphold the Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or once spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time, by even this graded course to enlightenment completed due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. A short, long life prayer for His Holiness the Dalai Lama. In that snow mountain encircled land, source of every benefit and joy, may Lord Tenzin Gyatso Chen Rezig remain in life till samsara's end. Prayer that spontaneously fulfills all wishes. Tong yi ning je zung du juk pe lam che che sel ze gong chen ten dru gun chagna Tenzin Gyatsola Sawadipso Jedun Lundrup Sho. Page 49, the short long life prayer for Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Tub so chang jing jam gun gyelwei tenzin kyong pelwei kunzo do podze chok sum kurwei legman tu drup padak sok dul je gun du jab ten shok. Dedication, page 57. Through this virtue may I swiftly, having gained Guru Buddha's state, place each and every sentient being without exception in that state. Precious precious supreme Bodhi mind, may it where unborn arise, and where born never decline, but increase forevermore. Page 75, Mitsima. Mig mitse we chen resig, dri mek yen pe wang po jam pel yang, gang chen ke pe tsu gen Tsongkhapa, lo sang drag pe Jabla Soade.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you too. Safe walking. Safe walking.
Good walking. Pardon me?
Okay.